I want to say right off the start of this that I might as well just go ahead and timestamp it as that. I'm going to start right off with the fact that tonight we're going to see Hartford jerseys. And there's going to be people who are upset about it, and there's going to be people who are happy about it. I'm wearing my Adidas Hartford because I think it's fine. And I understand there are some, and I was reading an article today in a Boston newspaper, or Connecticut newspaper, or Massachusetts newspaper, as Massachusetts newspaper, about the people of Connecticut. And how disrespectful it is for Carolina to wear a Hartford Whalers jersey. Yet admitting they didn't draw crowds when they were in Hartford. They didn't have a building that could suit an NHL team. And then I'm not sure what the point of it is. And it's definitely something worth looking at. Like if the Colorado Avalanche were to announce they were going to have a Quebec Nordiques night, that they were going to play in Montreal, they were going to wear Nordiques jerseys, would that upset people? Obviously, the Arizona Coyotes at this point can't wear Jets jerseys because it would just confuse everybody. But I think right now, I don't think a Whalers jersey being worn by the Carolina Hurricanes is a big deal. I just don't see it. So I'm looking forward to seeing this tonight. I think it'll be a very pretty game. And I would love to see Boston wear their black jerseys while these wonderful green jerseys are being worn again. Meanwhile, Carolina's in a playoff race here. 36-23-6 is their record. Boston's 39-17-9. On the road, Carolina's 18-13-2. At home, Boston's 24-7-3. So Boston's home record is intimidating. Over their last 10, Carolina, they're 8-2. They've won 5 in a row. Boston's 9-0-1 in their last 10, and they've won 3 in a row. So both teams pretty darn hot, and both teams have won a game between the two. So this is the third and final meeting this year. And between the two, it's really hard for me to say who necessarily is playing a whole lot better than the other. Boston's been better over the last couple of months, sure, but Carolina's been pretty darn good themselves. And I wouldn't be surprised if wearing these Whalers jerseys, they go out and get themselves a win. Of course, I missed the first time they wore the Whalers jersey because I was down in Vegas and I didn't get to see the game. Scoring over their last 10 games. Sebastian Aho, 3 goals, 8 assists. Niederreiter, 3 goals, 8 assists. Ferland, 3 goals, 4 assists. Wallmark, 2 goals, 3 assists. Williams, 5 goals and 5 assists. Slavin with a goal and 2 assists. And Falk with 3 goals and 2 assists. On the Boston side, Marchand, 7 goals, 6 assists. Krejci, 3 goals, 9 assists. DeBrusk, 7 goals, 6 assists. Achari, 2 goals, 2 assists. Wagner, who's been awesome, 3 goals and an assist. Krug with a goal and 7 assists. And Brandon Carlo has 3 assists. Now, starting goaltenders, no confirmation for the Carolina Whalers, but I'm figuring probably McElhinney. Mrazek's 4-1 in their last 10 games with a .929 save percentage. McElhinney is 4-1 with a .957 save percentage. So either way, you can't really go wrong. On the Boston side, they've confirmed Jaro Halak. That would make Rask the backup. He's 5-0-1 over their last 10 games with a .925 save percentage. Halak, he's just 4-0-0 with a .966 save percentage. So I'm hoping for Halak and McElhinney. I think we'll end up seeing a pretty low-scoring game if it's the two of them. And a lot of fun. Because Carolina's third in the Metro. They're 3 points behind the New York Islanders. They're 1 point ahead of Pittsburgh. Boston's second in the Atlantic. They're 1 point ahead of Toronto. 10 points ahead of Montreal. And there's no point in even discussing how far behind Tampa they are. Because everybody is so far behind Tampa. We'll get to that. But again, the only argument I can see, the only thing that I can sort of agree with is when Carolina wears a Hartford Whalers jersey, yes, if a jersey number was retired by the Hartford Whalers when they played at the Civic Center, then it should be retired by the Carolina Hurricanes for that night. I will agree with that. That would be an excellent thing. And see, that's proof that I do keep little things that people send me, and I'll be making appearances in videos or on the set itself. All right, next up. The New York Rangers in against the Dallas Stars. So the Rangers, who've been a bit of an adventure on the road. But there seems to be some determination by the Rangers to finish strong this year. And they're making the right decision in goal right now. We'll get to that. The Dallas Stars, on the other hand, seem to be in the process of turning things around. Let's see if they can maintain that and win another game tonight. On the road, the Rangers are 11-16-3. At home, Dallas is 19-10-2. So Dallas pretty good at home. Their last 10, the Rangers are 3-4-3. They lost their last game in a shootout. Dallas is 5-5 in their last 10. They've won 2 in a row. The Rangers won the other meeting this year, so Dallas is trying to even up the series this season. Over their last 10 games, Chris Kreider, 2 goals, 5 assists. Jimmy Vesey, 4 goals, 4 assists. Strome, 4 goals, 4 assists. Yeah, Oilers should pick him up. Buchnevich, 4 goals, 4 assists. Jesper Fast, a goal and 2 assists. D'Angelo, 9 assists for him. Brady Shea, 3 goals, 2 assists. On the Dallas side of the board, Radulov, 2 goals, 5 assists. Spezza, 2 goals, 2 assists. Faksa, 3 goals and an assist. Janmark, a goal and 2 assists. And I keep waiting for him to really start producing because he's showing a lot of signs over the last couple of weeks, but he hasn't quite put it together yet. Nichushkin, I went back further than 10 games. He hasn't had a point in 14 games now, and he's been a healthy scratch regularly. Why did they waive Jamel Smith? Honest question. I don't understand. On the blue line, Klingberg's got a goal and 6 assists in their last 10 games. Lindell, 2 goals, 4 assists. In net, both goalies are confirmed. Lundqvist will be the backup tonight. He's 1-3-1 in their last 10 games with a .908 save percentage. Georgiev's in again. They're getting a nice long look at this kid. He's 2-1-2 in their last 10 games with a .902 save percentage. Bishop will be starting for Dallas tonight. He's 3-2 in the last 10 games he's been able to play. .941 save percentage. Hudobin, 4-3 in their last 10 games with a .919 save percentage. The Rangers are 12 points out of the playoffs. They know they're not going, but again, they're looking to finish strong. The Dallas Stars, they're the number 1 wild card. They're tied with Minnesota for that wild card spot. They have more regulation or overtime wins than Minnesota. That's the tiebreaker. They're the number 1 wild card, but they're 3 points behind St. Louis. They're 2 points ahead of Arizona. So Arizona will be watching the Dallas game very closely and the Minnesota game as well. And St. Louis should be keeping a close eye on these teams as well because St. Louis is not out of the woods yet. But yeah, again, since Dallas is at home, I'm kind of cautiously optimistic that they can get a bit of a streak going. But I've been disappointed before. It's happened. I've been disappointed before by them. So we'll see. Next up, Ottawa is a good test. The New York Islanders appear to be on the precipice here. Now, they won that big emotional game against John Tavares. But over their last 2 games, something has happened. And it's an alarming meeting of the worst things that could happen. Their scoring has been struggling, and their goaltending has been struggling as well. You can do without one if you have the other. You can't do without both. So tonight they're against the Ottawa Senators, a team that we can all look at and say, yep, that should be a pushover, that should be an easy night. Ottawa's coming off of a win, and it's pretty clear that this is a team that doesn't want to finish 31st overall. That, at the very least, one of the things Pierre Dorian wants to see is that they're not the 31st rated team in the NHL at the end of the year. Whatever you can do, I guess. They're 23-38-5 overall. The Islanders are 37-21-7. And again, while the Islanders have had a fantastic year and they can turn this around, they're not completely out of the woods because of so many teams behind them being within striking distance. On the road, the Senators are a woeful 9-23-1. At home, the Islanders are 19-10-4. Over their last 10, Ottawa's 2-8. They won their last game in Florida. Over their last 10, the Islanders are 4-5-1. They've lost 2 in a row. So this game tonight is kind of big. Now, the Islanders won the only meeting they've had with Ottawa this year, meaning they face them one more time after tonight before the end of the season. And again, this is your classic trap game. This is absolutely that. But the Islanders should be kind of fired up due to the fact they've lost a couple in a row. They've fallen out of first place for the first time in months. And the pressure's kind of on because Carolina's not that far back. They're only 3 points back. A loss in regulation, a win here, and it's only a 1 point difference. So there should be an air of importance to this for the Islanders, despite the fact that it is the Ottawa Senators in. Over their last 10 games, White, 2 goals, 4 assists for the Senators. Tierney, a goal and 3 assists. Gibbons, a goal and 2 assists. Piyarvi with 3 assists. Bodker with a goal and 2 assists. Ceci with 3 assists. And Shabbat with 2 goals and 2 assists for the Senators. On the Islanders side, Nelson, 3 goals, 4 assists. Anders Lee has 4 goals. Bailey, 2 goals, 7 assists. Cizikas, 6 goals. Clutterbuck, 2 goals, 4 assists. Leddy with a goal and an assist. And Pelech with a goal and an assist for the New York Islanders. Goaltenders, no confirmation for Ottawa. I would expect Nelson. He played really well against Florida. Anderson's 0-5 in their last 10 games with an .898 save percentage. Nelson's 2-3 with an .857 save percentage. But again, he played well in the last game. They may give him a chance at it. They're 26 points out of the playoffs. Yeah, I know. You're gonna go, why do you even list that? Because it's fun to list it. They're 26 points out. With a win tonight, they could be 24 points out. Never say never. Unless you're 24. Yeah, they're right on the cusp of officially being eliminated. The Islanders, Leonard's been confirmed as the starter in their last 10. He's 3-1, .924 save percentage, and he got pulled in his last start, so we'll see how he does tonight. Grice is 1-2 in their last 10, .933 save percentage. So again, they're 4-5-1 in their last 10. Their goalies have both put up save percentages of .924 or higher. That's an alarming stat. Right now, they are second in the Metro. They're 2 points behind Washington. They're 3 ahead of Carolina. So they're right in that no man's land where if they'd lose a couple more games and the other teams don't do them any favors, they could find themselves as low as a wild card spot in the next week. It's that close. All right, next up, Montreal. 35-24-7 in against the LA Kings. 24-33-8. This is a game that really, honestly, Montreal needs as well. Montreal should be up for this game for numerous reasons. Maybe because LA beat them in Montreal earlier this year. Maybe for that reason. I don't know. But I would say a playoff spot's an important reason as well. On the road, Montreal's 16-13-3 at home. LA's 13-15-3. Last 10 games, Montreal's 4-6 and lost their last game. They cannot keep losing like that. Whereas the Kings are 1-6-10 in their last, or 1-6-3 in their last 10, and of course they won their last game, which broke that 10-game losing streak. It was a lot. They lost a lot. Over their last 10 games, Thomas Tatar, 5 goals, 3 assists. Gallagher was 7 goals, so he's kind of on fire. Shaw, 4 goals, 3 assists. Byron, 2 goals, 5 assists. Kotkaniemi, 1 goal, 4 assists. Jordy Ben with 5 assists. Yeah, that's right. Jordy Ben with 5 assists in his last 10 games. What's up? Shea Weber with 2 assists. On the LA side of things, Dustin Brown, 4 goals and an assist. Kovalchuk with 3 goals and an assist. I'm still wondering what they're going to do with him. Leipzig, 2 goals, 3 assists. Iafallo, 3 goals and an assist. Kempe, a goal and 3 assists. Martinez, a goal and 2 assists. And Walker, young kid, goal and 2 assists for him on the blue line for them. No confirmation on goaltenders here at the time that I'm recording this. I expect Carey Price. He's played all 10 of their last 10 games. He's 4-6 in those games with a .921 save percentage. On the LA side of things, I don't know. Campbell. Quick's 1-4-2 in their last 10 with an .846 save percentage. Campbell's 0-2-1 with an .895 save percentage. LA's goaltending has not been great. Their defense has not been great. There's been a lot that's not been great with the Kings this year. Wild card number 2. That's the spot occupied by the Canadiens. They are tied in points with Pittsburgh. They're behind them on regulation and overtime wins. And they're 2 points ahead of Columbus. So for both Pittsburgh and Montreal, they have to be aware that Columbus is right behind them. And Columbus is loaded up. They're going for it. And are they going to make the playoffs? That's a question we're asking on TSN last night, too, during the game. And there are people who say, yeah, no, Columbus still isn't going to make it. LA's 15 points out of the playoffs. That's not going to make it either. So, overall, this is a game Montreal should absolutely win. If Niemi's going to make an appearance before the end of the year, you might want to throw him in against the LA Kings, but I really don't know what they're going to do. They may just ride Price right till the end of the year. At this rate, it looks like that's what Claude Julien would be comfortable doing. Next up, Columbus, See, I mentioned Columbus, and there they are. Made them up here. 36, 26, and 3. 36, 23, and 6. 3 overtime loss points that separate you from being third in the Metro and being out of the playoffs. It's that razor wire close. That razor thin. Razor, you know what I mean. Because razor wire doesn't make any sense. It's fine. It's fine. Razor wire is now a thing. Okay. It was always a thing. Okay, shut up. In against New Jersey. New Jersey's 25, 33, and 8. Showing that last year was a fun year for the Devils, LGD versus everyone. And this year it seems to be NJD versus themselves. As far as the away record goes, Columbus is really, really good. They're 19, 10, and 1. And they've been better away from home than at home all year. So that works to their benefit tonight. At home, New Jersey's 17, 12, and 5. That home record's been getting chipped away at since the start of the year. And Columbus is going to look to continue the erosion. Over their last 10, Columbus 4-6 with 2 losses in their last 2 games. The New Jersey Devils 4-6 in their last 10, and they've lost 3 in a row. So both teams kind of backing their way out. The difference is New Jersey's been backing their way out since October, and the Columbus Blue Jackets have recently started this trend of backing their way out. And it is alarming. Absolutely. Columbus has won all 3 meetings between these teams this year. That bodes well for them. Panarin over their last 10 games, 3 goals, 6 assists. Dubois with 2 goals, 3 assists. Dzingel, 1 goal, 4 assists. Jenner with a goal and 3 assists. Anderson, 2 goals and 2 assists. Seth Jones, 2 goals, 2 assists. And Kukan with a goal, with 1 assist. On the New Jersey side of things, Jesper Bratt, 3 goals, 6 assists. Zajac, 2 goals, 4 assists. Joey Anderson with a goal. Heischer, a goal and 3 assists. He's really slowed down over the last month. Rooney, 2 goals and an assist. Severson, 2 goals, 5 assists. And Vatanen with a goal and an assist. Goaltenders. No confirmation for Columbus. But knowing Tortorella, I'd be surprised if he doesn't just keep throwing Bobrovsky in. Bobrovsky's 4-5 in their last 10 games with a .908 save percentage. Korpisalo, 0-1 with an .800 save percentage. On the New Jersey side of things, in the last 10 games he's been able to play, Corey Schneider's 4-3 with a .923 save percentage. That's not bad. Blackwood's 2-4 in the last 10 games he's been up for, .909 save percentage. Columbus is 2 points out of the playoffs. New Jersey, well, let's just say New Jersey's 19 points out and leave it at that. It's a sad total that they've put up. It is. It's been a long season, and for Devils fans, they're likely tuned out at this stage of the game. But for Columbus fans, you should still believe in your team at least making the playoffs. And they're all in. Here we go. The one thing that I will say about this whole being all in thing is this. They get to Dzingel, they add Duchesne. I remember when the Canucks were one of the best teams in the league. And to me, they were never really the best because they didn't win the Stanley Cup. But they would always be trading with Florida. And it used to make me kind of nervous. I used to think, if they're trading, why are they trading with Florida? Because you're getting guys from a losing atmosphere. So I always had that concern that, you're getting guys who aren't necessarily from a winning atmosphere. It wasn't anything against those players, but it made me nervous that maybe it might change the culture of the room and it might hurt the team. Columbus picking up a couple of guys from Ottawa, it could go, it could have gone either way. Like with Vegas, it's definitely helped having Mark Stone in there, but it does make me wonder when you're trading with a team that's at the bottom of the league, that a team that's underachieved, might you be picking up players that were part of an issue that was going on? Anyway, just a thought I had, nothing major, just one of those thoughts I had at the deadline. And it's something that stuck with me from the Canucks years back. Always trading with Florida, and I was like, Florida, I don't know. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'm going to go ahead and change boards. I'm going to have thrown people by saying, let me know in the comment section below what you think. They're going to be like, is he stopping? There's 5 more games. All right, Winnipeg and Tampa. 39-22-4 Winnipeg, and this is a huge test for Winnipeg. So they're in against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are 50-12-4. They reached the 50 win mark at the 66 game point, the exact same amount of games it took the Detroit Red Wings back in 95-96. Yes, the 95-96 Red Wings failed to win the Stanley Cup. That's going to get said a lot over the next few months. Or at least the next couple. Then once the playoffs start, we'll see what happens with Tampa, right? This is a great test, though, for Winnipeg. So Winnipeg has been looking better the last week. They have. And it seems like that rut they were in, they seem to be pulling themselves out of. On the road, they're 17-14. Not a great road record. At home, Tampa's an impressive 27-5-2. It's about as impressive as the road record. Really, there isn't anything that's not impressive about Tampa's season. Over their last 10 games, Winnipeg's 5-4-1. They've won 2 in a row. Tampa's 9-1 in their last 10. They won their last game. Winnipeg did win this meeting in Winnipeg this year, so they can beat Tampa. Over their last 10 games, Scheifele, 5 goals, 7 assists. Laine, 4 goals, 3 assists, seems to be waking up and getting it going. Wheeler, 6 goals, 9 assists. Connor, 3 goals, 4 assists. Hayes, 2 goals and 5 assists. Myers, 3 goals and an assist. And Sherratt with 4 assists. On the Tampa side, Stamkos, 4 goals, 9 assists. Braden Point, 4 goals, 7 assists. Kucherov's numbers are ridiculous. 7 goals and 15 assists in their last 10 games. 22 points in their last 10 games. That's ridiculous. That's not right. Miller, 3 goals, 2 assists. Adam Ernie with 2 assists. I like Adam Ernie. I thought I'd throw him up there. Victor Hedman, 2 goals, 2 assists in the last 10 games. Coburn, 4 assists. So what's really scary, too, for me with Tampa, there's a lot of things that are scary with Tampa. Victor Hedman hasn't even played his best hockey yet. He has not been Victor Hedman of last year or the year before yet. He hasn't got there. He's going to at some point this year. And I'm terrified for what's going to happen when he really turns into that monster that he can be. Goaltenders, no confirmation for Winnipeg. It has to be Hellebuck here. He's 4-3 in their last 10 games with a .914 save percentage. Brossoit, 1-1-1 with a .902 save percentage over that same period of time. Over their last 10, Vasilevsky's likely. He should play. He's 8-0-0 with a .952 save percentage. I'm telling you, that .952 tells you all you need to know about why I've basically just handed him the Vezina right now. Over their last 10, Dominguez showed up twice. He's 1-1 with a .915 save percentage. The Winnipeg Jets are first in the Central. They're 1 point ahead of Nashville. They're 8 points ahead of St. Louis. Tampa's first in the NHL. They're 15 points ahead of Calgary for first place in the NHL. It's everybody else and then the Lightning. It's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. All right, next up, Florida. So Florida trying to salvage this season. They have not had good fortune over the last week and a half. They're in against the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are looking to claw their way into the playoffs and maybe, just maybe, ruin that party for the Islanders, the Capitals, and everybody by somehow finding their way into first place. There's still enough time left, and they're still within striking distance to make it happen. 28, 26, and 11 is the record for Florida. 34, 22, and 9 is the record for Pittsburgh. On the road, Florida's 12, 14, and 5. At home, Pittsburgh's 17, 12, and 2. Over their last 10, Florida's 5, 2, and 3. They lost their last game, but they've lost, I believe it's 4 in a row because 3 of them were overtime losses. 6, 2, and 2 is the record for Pittsburgh. They won their last game. Both teams have won a game in this matchup this year. I would be very surprised if Pittsburgh doesn't win this one tonight. Barkov's 9 goals and 7 assists in their last 10 games is fantastic. Huberdeau, 5 goals, 8 assists. Dadonov, 3 goals, 4 assists. Brouwer, 2 goals, 3 assists. Borgstrom with 2 goals and 3 assists. Yandel with a goal and 9 assists, so he continues that all-star pace. And Ekblad, 2 goals and 1 assist. On the Pittsburgh side, Crosby's almost as ridiculous as Kucherov right now. 6 goals, 15 assists for 21 points. This is what happens when people say, he's getting older. This is finally the year where he slows down. Crosby just doesn't do it. Gensel, 5 goals, 4 assists. Malkin, 7 goals, 4 assists. Simone with 3 assists. Hornquist, 1 goal, 2 assists. Pettersson, 1 goal, 3 assists. And Jack Johnson with an assist. Goaltending, Luongo's 2-2-2 with a .908 save percentage in their last 10. Montembeault made a start recently. He's 0-1 with an .846 save percentage. On the Pittsburgh side, Murray's been confirmed. He's 5-1-2 with a 924 save percentage over their last 10. Dismissed 1-1 with an 893 save percentage. Florida's 10 points out, so it's done. Pittsburgh's the number one wild card. They're 1 point behind Carolina. They're tied with Montreal, and they're 2 points ahead of Columbus. Can it get more congested than that? Probably. If Pittsburgh and Montreal both lost in regulation and Columbus won, you'd have a three-way tie. And then if Carolina lost in regulation as well, you'd have 4 teams within 1 point of each other. So yeah, it can get more congested. The odds of all of those things happening are almost zero. But I don't know. I really like what Pittsburgh's done. And you know what? Watch Jared McCann tonight. McCann's been very solid since arriving in Pittsburgh. May feel a bit slighted by the Florida Panthers. I know that McCann, when he plays against Vancouver, he's got his hackles up a little bit. And I believe it's because he's got some personal gripe with the Canucks. And I get a feeling that he may not be happy with Florida for trading him either. And have this showing them up kind of feeling of, this is what you gave up, this is what I can do. So watch for McCann to probably score, I think, at least a goal tonight. At least that. All right. That being said, next up, Minnesota. Minnesota Wild, 32-27-7. In against the Nashville Predators, who are 38-25-5. And this is a really solid matchup between two teams that are doing their best to get in. Nashville looks like they're turning around. Nashville has struggled over the last month, but it looks like they're starting to turn things around. Even though they lost that game in Winnipeg, I think there was a lot there for them to build on. On the road, Minnesota's 18-14-1 at home. Nashville's an impressive 21-12-1. And of course, their last game, they won over the Minnesota Wild, and Minnesota will be looking for some revenge from that. Over their last 10, Minnesota's 5-3-2. They had, of course, that overtime loss. Whereas Nashville's 5-5, they won their last game over Minnesota. Nashville has won both meetings between these teams this year. Over their last 10 games, Eric Stahl, 2 goals, 6 assists. Ryan Donato, 2 goals, 5 assists. Some good depth scoring. Boston should look at picking him up. Parise, 2 goals, 4 assists. Eric Sinek, 2 goals, 2 assists. Kunin, 3 goals and an assist. Kunin just doesn't sound right to me. It's weird. Spurgeon, 2 goals, 4 assists for him. 2 goals, 4 assists. Brodin with 3 assists for Minnesota. On the Nashville side, Johansson with 4 assists. Kyle Turris, a goal and 2 assists. Craig Smith, 2 goals and 2 assists. Benino with a goal and an assist. Yarncroke, 2 assists. They need some of these depth guys to really pick it up. Subban, 3 goals, 2 assists. And Ekholm with a goal and an assist. Goaltending side of things, they haven't confirmed things, but I would think it has to be Dubnyk since it was Stalock in the last game. Dubnyk's 5-2-1, 911 save percentage over their last 10. Stalock 0-1-1 with a 918 save percentage. On the Nashville side, I expect Rinne here. He's 4-3 in their last 10 with a 913 save percentage. Saros 1-2 with a 933 save percentage. Of course, Minnesota's tied with Dallas for the wild card. They're the number 2. Dallas is number 1. They're 2 points ahead of Arizona. Nashville, on the other hand, they're second in the Central. They're 1 point behind Winnipeg, 7 points ahead of St. Louis. So we are at that stage of the year where I will be consistently looking at where everybody is in the standings. Nashville, and the funny thing is, and I've mentioned this before, I really think that the year Nashville's having this year, and the fact they've had some adversity, and they've had those down points and all the injuries, I really think this is going to lead to them being better in the playoffs. Due to the fact that last year I thought it was a really easy run, and then all of a sudden Winnipeg just stymied them. This year, I think, especially if they don't win the division, they end up being second. If they're on the road to start a series against Winnipeg, I honestly think that would favor them a little bit more than playing at home. I think the home crowd pressure, I'm not going to say that necessarily gets to them. I know Rinne didn't have a great end to that series, but I think it would favor them to be on the road to start a series. You look at when they went to the Stanley Cup final a couple years ago, they were the road team to start every round in that year. So, and they got very close to winning that Stanley Cup. Just barely missed. I know it's still a tender topic for Nashville fans, so I'm not going to get into it. Next up, Detroit. Yes, the Red Wings in against the Colorado Avalanche. These are two teams that are out of the playoffs, but one of them has a chance to get in. But for that team to get in, they're going to need some help because now they got multiple teams to jump over to get there. 23-33-9 is the record of Detroit. 28-26-12 is the record for the Colorado Avalanche. On the road, Detroit is 11-16-4. At home, Colorado's 13-12-6. Have not been good enough. Winning 13 out of 31 at home, that's a good part of why they're sitting outside a playoff spot. Over their last 10, Detroit's 2-6-2. They've lost 4 in a row. They're in that swan dive that they hit, that nose dive they hit after the trade deadline. I'm just going to keep mixing metaphors. Anyways, that's not even the right... Mixing metaphors isn't what I'm doing either. 6-3-1 over their last 10. There's Colorado, but they've lost 2 in a row. So Colorado needs to turn it around. They cannot afford to lose another game. Colorado did win the meeting between these teams in Detroit. This is, of course, an old blood feud from the late 90s that now they're not in the same conference, and it's not really a feud at all anymore unless you pay attention to what happened in the last game. But we won't need to talk about that, right? We'll see if that gets brought up tonight or not. Usually those things don't carry over between the games. On the Detroit side of things, Larkin's got 4 goals and 6 assists in their last 10 games. Anthony Mantha, 4 goals and 8 assists over their last 10. Glendening, a goal and an assist. Vanek is back down to a goal and an assist. Why didn't Vanek get moved at the deadline? So weird. Helm, 2 goals and an assist. Cronwall, 3 assists. And Hronek with 5 assists for Detroit. On the Colorado side, McKinnon, 4 goals, 4 assists. Jost, 3 goals, 2 assists. Soderberg, 3 goals, 5 assists. Compher, 3 goals, 4 assists. Broussard with 2 goals and an assist. Nemeth with 3 assists. And Tyson Barrie, 4 assists to round out the Colorado side of things. Now, goaltenders, no confirmation, so speculate away. You know, the goaltending for Detroit has really abandoned them over the last month. Howard is 2-3 in their last 10 games with an .876 save percentage. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't start tonight, though. Bernier's 0-3-2 over their last 10 with an .892 save percentage. Colorado, their goaltending, much talked about 10 games ago. Now, not so much. It's gotten a lot better. Varlamov, 5-2-1 in their last 10 with a .939 save percentage. Grubauer, 1-1 with a .967 save percentage. Now, it's their scoring that's become an issue. Detroit's 22 points out of the playoffs. You need a telescope to see them. Colorado is 3 points out of the playoffs. So, yeah. I don't have a whole lot to add to that one. Just, dear Colorado, you better wake up. The playoffs are receding quickly. Next up, finally, last but not least, Anaheim and Arizona. And at the start of the year, if I told you this game's going to matter to the playoffs of one of these teams and not to the other, you would have said, well, of course Arizona's out. Of course they are. Arizona's not going to be a playoff team yet. And they're not a playoff team right now, but they're really, really close. Now, 25-32-9 is the record for Anaheim. 32-28-5 is the record for Arizona. And I'm going to say this. If Arizona doesn't make the playoffs, at the very least, they've had a really nice run this year, and their fans have hope for the future. They haven't had that in a while. Now, away from home, Anaheim's 12-21-1. At home, Arizona's 15-14-3. Over their last 10, Anaheim's 4-6 with a win in their last game. Arizona's 8-2 with 6 wins in a row. So this is why when people keep talking about Strome, like, oh, well, Dylan Strome's done great in Chicago, and, Arizona's, they're so stupid. Yeah, they're closer to the playoffs, though. So Arizona, I think it's more of a buying into the mentality of the team and buying into what the coach is selling rather than just pure talent. Because, yeah, these 6 wins in a row, it hasn't been about a bunch of goals. It hasn't been about looking like a machine out there. It's been timely goals, some great goaltending, and some really solid defense. Arizona's won 2 out of 3 meetings between these teams this year. This will be their 4th and final. Over their last 10 games, Corey Perry, 2 goals and an assist. In the last 10 games he's played, Getzlaf has 3 assists. Silverberg, 5 goals and an assist. Daniel Sprong, no points. He needs to get back on there. Max Jones, 1 assist. Fowler, a goal and an assist. Lindholm, a goal and 2 assists. I don't have to harp on the scoring. It's right there on the board. We know where Anaheim's been struggling. on the Arizona side of things, Galchenyuk, 4 goals and 3 assists in his last 10 games. Keller, a goal and 2 assists. So this is the thing. They've got 8 wins in their last 10 games, and Clayton Keller, ice cold. A similar example would be with the New York Islanders and Matthew Barzal. Barzal has not been scoring over the last month. Neither's Keller, and yet both teams... Well, the Islanders are in a playoff spot, and Arizona's trying to get there. Hinostroza, 2 goals and 8 assists. I have to talk about how I think Vinny's excellent. Archibald, 5 goals, 2 assists. Who saw that coming? If you put up your hand to say I did, you're wrong. Krause, 2 goals, 3 assists, and you're lying about it. I don't appreciate it. Ekman Larson, 2 goals, 6 assists, and Jacob Chychrun with a goal and 4 assists to round things out for Arizona. On the goaltending side, no confirmation, so we'll speculate. Gibson. Over the last 10 games, he's been eligible to play. He's 2-5 with an .881 save percentage, but he was pretty solid in the last game. Miller's 2-2 in the last 10 games. He's been eligible to play. .933 save percentage for him. On the Arizona side, it's got to be Kemper. You have to play Darcy. He's 8-1 in their last 10 games with a .940 save percentage. Yeah. Pickard has played the other game. He lost that one, and he has an .875 save percentage in that game. Anaheim's 12 points out. They're playing out the string. Arizona, 2 points out. Anaheim, they're playing for pride and playing for jobs next year because the guy standing behind him is the general manager, and he's none too pleased with the way this season has gone because it means his job could be on the line as well. So there you go. You're all caught up for tonight's games. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just tapping upon this video. And I'm wearing my Canes gear because Hurricanes, Whalers, it's fine. It's not a big deal. There's other things to worry about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.